Hi everyone, here we are at our next grad chat, and I am Kathy Williams, and I am a recruitment specialist here at OSU-Tulsa. And as you see there in the screen, as you probably recognize Sonny, because he's been doing a lot of our promos with us. Today we have three very different but very exciting programs to present to you today, and they're each one of them going to be in a different industry, and industries that are really big and huge and growing commerce here in Tulsa. First, a little bit of housekeeping. I'd just like to remind you to keep your mics muted. We will have an opportunity for question and answers after each speaker. So please use the chat box in the comment area for your questions, and just click that little speech bubble for your opportunity to chat. Oops, sorry, went backwards. And first of all, let's just talk a little bit about why are we here? Why a graduate degree? As most of us would know, it does open a lot more employment opportunities. Actually, some careers actually require a master's degree or even higher these days, because it demonstrates an ability to commit to and complete a long-term project. It can accelerate your career or even take you down a completely different career path. Gives you better negotiating power for salary and benefits as well, and hopefully greater lifetime earnings as well as just a sense of achievement. There's a lot of stuff exciting going on out there. So with that, I'm going to introduce our very first guest that we have with us today. And not only our guest, but my friend, Dr. Mallory Casebolt. So she is with our aviation industry. Hi, Mallory.
Hi, how are you?
Come in. If you just keep yourself right up here inside this box, then we'll all be good to go.
Great.
So, all right. Well, what I'd like to do today is just have a chat with you and talk a little bit about our aviation industry here in Tulsa, what our students can expect, the different types of classes that they could take, the type of student that you're looking for, and some of the different areas that they can get into once they do graduate.
Okay,
Take it away from here.
My name is Mallory Casebolt. I've been with OSU-Tulsa for about 3 years. I have a background in air traffic control. And so I'm just going to share with you guys a little bit about the Aviation and Space Master's Program. So essentially a lot of our students that we see that are in the master's program or enroll in the master's program already have a background in aviation and are looking to move into management positions, advance their careers, or maybe move to a different sector within the aviation community. So we see a lot of promotion for leadership for individuals that come and get their master's degree. The majority of our students come from aviation. We see a lot of individuals that come from the military, and we also have individuals that are currently working for the FAA or another branch of government, and they come in and they want to further their education.
Can I ask you, you said we have a lot that are already in the industry. Do they already have their bachelor's degrees? Are they coming from other schools?
So it kind of depends, and I'll get into it when I talk about the benefit of us being a 100% online program.
Okay.
But I would say the majority of our students already are established with a bachelor's degree, and they're ready to take that step, furthering their education. So I don't know if that really
like you said, getting into management.
And usually a lot of students that I talk with, they're wanting to go a step up in their career, take on more responsibilities, and this is one way that they do it. So
I'm just curious myself, is how big is the aviation industry here in Tulsa?
So within the state of Oklahoma, we are the second economic revenue producer in the state, and that's just right under oil and natural gas. So in the Tulsa area, we are booming. We're growing in Tulsa specifically, but our state as a whole is a wonderful industry and fluid industry for aviation.
That's fantastic.
But we're not just limited to Oklahoma, so we are an online program.
Great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that online program.
So a little bit about our program. One of the benefits, I think, is that we are 33 credit hours. We have our schedule where we offer courses fall, spring, summer. So technically, if you can commit to going a full year, you can graduate within 3 semesters. So that is something that our students have really found beneficial.
Did you just say 3 semesters?
3 semesters. So say,
That's
for
fast.
example, a student starts this coming fall of 19. They would go fall 19, spring 20, graduate or summer 20. So pretty fast
really
for a
fast,
master's. Yeah,
yes.
and of course you'd have to, be enrolled for quite a bit, but nothing too overwhelming. We have a lot of students that are able to work full-time careers and go and get their master's degree. So
that was my next question. It's because so many of your students, it sounds like, since they're already in this industry, they already have jobs. They're already working, so they can still complete this program and not leave their jobs.
Yes, and so that is one of the benefits of having a 100% online program is, for example, in a 16-week semester, we split our master's courses up where you take maybe 6 hours the first 8 weeks and then the remainder the next 8 weeks. So you could take 12 hours of graduate level coursework, but it's not all overwhelming at one time. So one of the unique benefits about our online program that I would say as a graduate of the program and now as an instructor side is that because it is online, it gives the flexibility of students enrolled a really big benefit of time management, where that they can, have a family life, have a career life, but then also not lack from the online program, if that makes sense. So.
Tell me a little bit about the type of student that you're looking for. Who's most successful in this? I know you said a lot of people come already from the industry, but is there a certain type of person, or as far as requirements are concerned, to get into the program?
I wouldn't say that we have a specific student. So we even have individuals that are business and maybe they've made their way into the aviation sector and they have a bachelor's degree in business and then they want that focal point in aviation. So we see that. So I wouldn't say we have a 100% just defined student that it's good for. Also, we really see students that benefit from our bachelor's program. It leads right into the master's program. And so we take what we've learned in our undergraduate coursework and it's really beefed up in our master's program. And it's a really enjoyable program. I know that sounds biased, but it takes the passion that most aviators have, and we just get to express it with fellow aviators.
We like it when you're biased about your program because really that transfers over to your students, and they feel that energy. They feel that just the excitement that you can generate from that. So, what kind of jobs are they getting into? You mentioned management, but I mean, it's like small airports or just private companies.
So we've seen individuals, just off the top of my head. Individuals that have retired from the military that want to go civilian side. We've seen people in the military for ranking advancements, airport managers, companies within the Boeing company, Federal Aviation Administration. So it's a really broad spectrum of individuals that have benefited from our master's degree.
This actually helps ranking within a military?
Yes, the education.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so one of the benefits is that we have no entrance exam. So
I noticed that.
A lot of people are nervous about taking that GMAT, and so you don't have to do that with our master's program. So that's something that kind of settles people's nerves when thinking about going for a master's in aviation. Part of our requirement for completing the master's is you are responsible to complete a creative component or a thesis, some people will call it. And what that is it's a really in-depth, intimate research with yourself and your advisor. And so once you got into the program, you would have a meeting with your advisor and you two would hash that out. So it also does have research requirements. We have an AVED 5053 and an AVED 5153. So if you look at the degree sheet that will be posted on this, you have to take the 5053 before the 5153 research course.
Okay, you just confused me.
Yeah.
Those are course numbers?
Course numbers,
okay,
yes. And so those are our research courses that have to be completed in order to graduate with your master's degree. And those are our research components.
Awesome. So, do we have some questions out there for Dr. Casebolt? Is there anything that you would like to add to this as far as your undergrad to get here, just a little bit more about the industry itself?
I think something that makes our program really unique and that I love about it is that you get to experience all of the aviation faculty. So on the OSU-Tulsa campus and the OSU-Stillwater campus, and so we all have different specialties. So you get that broad spectrum, and then we also have really good relationships and connections with industry professionals that'll come into our classrooms or sometimes even teach for us. And so you get a really broad understanding of aviation. And so I think that is something that makes us totally unique and just awesome. For example, we have an instructor that works for the Boeing Defense Department.
Cool.
And she teaches. And so you get real world what's going on in Boeing.
So with that being said, what's the job placement like
for
this industry?
We don't really have a tracking mechanism, but I can say in my experience that every one of my master's students have been successful at what they had sought out, either career advancement, going somewhere else. So, I mean, I don't want to say 100% because we don't track that,
right?
But that would be a good idea in the future to track our statistics.
Very good.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like to add to this?
Not that I can think of. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My email is up there. Also, the graduate coordinator is Tim Bliss, and that's timm.bliss@okstate.edu, or any other aviation and space faculty. We'd be happy to help you guys.
Right. You did mention earlier that when we talk to students or prospective students, that we encourage them to talk with an advisor. And when I work with undergrad students, it would be an academic advisor that they would speak with, but at a graduate level, they'd work directly with the faculty members, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can contact
me, ma'am.
you can contact any of us, and so we're all listed, and like Kathy said, we're all considered graduate level academic advisors.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Do we have any questions come in? Well, if you didn't get a chance to get your questions sent in now, please don't hesitate to send them in at any time. You can send them again to Dr. Casebolt here, or you can send them to myself at the Graduate Student Services Center, and I can certainly forward them on to Mallory or any of the graduate courses or graduate information that you might be seeking outside of just the specifics for the aviation program. So with that being said, Mallory, thank you, Dr. Casebolt.
Yeah,
You're my friend, Mallory.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so glad
Thanks
to
for
have you
having
with
me.
us. Thank you. Awesome. So please keep in mind as we go through the rest of today's webinar that go ahead, and if you can't think of a question, or you're writing some notes down, or even if you have someone in particular that you have in mind that might be benefit from this program and from this information, that we are not only live on Facebook, but we are recording this. So if you got a chance to register early, we will be sending you the recording. And if you didn't get a chance to register, please feel free to just contact us here at OSU-Tulsa, and we will be more than happy to send that information on to you whenever. So our next guest is Dr. Ranji, because I am not going to butcher your last name.
No problem.
Welcome.
Very nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. Again, we're going to get cozy in here to
Yes.
keep us on track.
Okay.
So you are here to represent the Materials Science and Engineering firm.
Yes.
And I have to admit, this is something that is way over my head, but we've got some bullet points here to kind of go through and explain about the program, explain about our wonderful research center, the Helmrich Research Center.
Yes.
And anything else that you can add to a very exciting, very growing career field. So
Yes.
welcome. And
so
take it away.
Okay, so let me give you a brief understanding of what we do. Any new development, any new creation is based on creating new materials.
Explain a little bit more for me.
Okay, for example, let me give you an actual example on a project that we are working for, a small company here in town, Infinite Composites. What they need, what they are trying to do is to make, I don't know how many of you or how many, have you ever driven an automobile that drives on CNG?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Okay.
A CNG vehicle takes up half the space inside the trunk.
Okay.
And the tank that carries the gas.
This is the natural gas.
Yeah,
cars.
natural
Okay.
gas tank.
All right.
It weighs almost 900 pounds.
Whoa.
Okay. What Infinite Composites wanted to do was to make a tank that weighs 1/10 the weight, less than 1/10 the weight of the 900-pound tank.
Okay.
And it can store 50% more gas than the traditional gas tank.
That's exciting stuff. So if we can dream it, you guys are the people that are putting the ideas together.
Yes, we believe in the saying, we believe in big, hairy, audacious goals.
Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yes.
Perfect. I love it.
Or called BHAG.
Okay.
Okay. So we made that work, and now they are making those tanks, and not only that, they can use those tanks for storing gases at very low temperatures.
Okay.
And that is being used, that is being considered by a lot of companies who are in the space industry and NASA.
I understand that we even had a couple of graduates that were recruited by NASA.
That's
and people
correct.
that are being recruited even before they graduate.
That's correct. And one of my first graduate students, he came and asked me if he could work with me as an intern, as an undergraduate. He worked with as an undergraduate intern. I convinced him to continue on for his master's, but he got this opportunity to go work for NASA because NASA came looking for him.
Right here in Tulsa,
Right
at the
here in
Helmer
Tulsa.
Center. That is so exciting.
They got something like 700 applicants, and they chose, they did not choose any of them, they chose him.
That's fantastic.
And he is still completing his master's with me.
That's exciting for him, for you, for the university.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's simply amazing. Tell me just a little bit about your background and what you got into this.
Okay. My background is I came to OSU about 11 years ago to come run the new product development center.
Okay.
And this was around 2007, 2008. And I started working with a colleague of mine in material science, in mechanical engineering at that time, Dr. Raman Singh. And we brought in a lot of money. And so the dean called me one day and said, you should consider becoming a faculty member. And
here you are.
Here I am.
That's awesome.
And but before that, I used to work for a small company in Arizona.
Okay.
So I come from the industry, and many of us have industrial experience before we come to teach in the program.
That is just amazing. It boggles my mind. It makes me think of something science fiction. And that's the kind of stuff that you're doing, though, isn't it?
Yes, and we are doing yet another project for NASA, which is to put our materials on the space station that can be used to protect astronauts when they fly to Mars.
So this is why, even when it's like I work here and I cannot even go into the Helmer Center because it is so incredibly secure and is working on so many very special projects. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Helmerick, if you would, please. We have a question? Hang on, let's do this question real quick here.
Okay, sure.
What undergraduate degree is recommended for the material science?
Okay.
His daughter is considering mechanical engineering.
It is. We are very flexible. So our graduate students come from all different walks of life. Okay. They have mechanical engineering, they have electrical engineering, they could have chemical engineering, they could have chemistry, they could have physics, they could have applied mathematics, they could do any of those, and we would consider all of them.
So basically, and this is again, my nephew is very, very interested in all of this science, and I told him, without knowing as much about this program, I said, take the hardest sciences you can and take the hardest math classes that you can. Is that good advice?
It can be,
Okay.
but we are very open. basically I personally believe that it is your attitude and your focus that is more important than your GPA and your grades.
Well, before we get into the homework, then let's
Okay.
go ahead and talk a little bit about those prospective students, because
Okay.
I know that to me, it was somebody who doesn't understand this type of science. It does sound scary, and it does sound almost impossible for me to get into. So tell me what you're looking for in a student. You said you're looking for just the overall picture and some
Overall
desire.
picture, any science degree could be used. I mean, there could even be biology majors who could come work in material science,
Okay,
who could work in the biomedical field.
very good.
Okay, mechanical engineers could work in areas like composite materials or metals or alloys. They could work on different applications. Basically, material science is more applications oriented than just
Okay.
basic science.
What about GPA, GRE, GMAT requirements, those sorts of things?
It is very it is very specific. So I would request the students to contact us and find out. We typically would like the students to have at least a 3.0 GPA and a GRE of around I think 310
Okay.
total. But if you are an OSU student, we may be able to waive some of those requirements.
Okay.
Basically, I'm going to look for your aptitude. We are going to be looking for your aptitude and what you have done and what you want to do with that background.
What your goals are.
Yes.
That's so important. Okay, tell us now about the Helmreich, then the
Okay.
exciting
The
stuff that's going
Helmreich
on.
is about 120,000 square feet facilities, and there are many labs. We have about 6 faculty members, and we are going to be adding to that number in the next year or so. And we also work with faculty members in Stillwater. So just because you work with a faculty member in Stillwater doesn't mean that you cannot come work with us
Okay.
in this building. And we work on different projects. We also have a very specialized characterization equipment, like how the materials are going to be performing and things like that, or what the basic atomic level behavior of those materials are. So we look at all of that, and they can come work with us, or they can come with work with many of the other faculty members. And we have about approximately 25 to 30 graduate students. And so if you want to come work with us, don't just come talk to us. Please come talk to our graduate students, other graduate students
Absolutely.
also, and find out what they feel about what they do.
Exactly. It's not just those of us who work here who are
Yeah.
trying to sell a program, but when you talk to the person that's actually doing it,
Yeah.
it can be very exciting.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Helmreich part of the 2025 vision to make this university a research campus?
That's correct. And we were given approximately $30 million from the Vision 2025, about $13 million from the Oklahoma higher education bond
Wow.
bond issue, and we got about $9 million from the Helmreich family, which is why we are called the Helmreich Research Center. So we really owe it to the people of Tulsa for
Very good.
having gotten this facility.
Well, it sounds like with all that money invested, that there is so much really amazing stuff that is being done over there, and it keeps growing and growing. Like I said, if you can imagine it, you guys can probably do it. Tell me what an imaging suite is.
Imaging suite is, so if you want to look at what you have done to the material, you want to go look at it from the surface. You also want to go look at it under the inside atomic level, or maybe you want to look at it from the perspective of how it is going to hold up to a higher temperature, higher pressure, or different kinds of conditions. So you want to apply those conditions and see how that changes the material.
Okay, interesting. This all just fascinates me completely. Like I said, it sounds like something out of Star Wars to me, but I love it.
No,
I love it.
actually speaking, it is not just Star Wars. I mean, we are looking at very day-to-day applications. And one application is, for example, do you know what is one material we throw away the most in this country?
Is it plastic?
Plastic, but what kind of plastic do you think?
I would imagine hard plastics.
We
Am I
throw
wrong?
away 600 million pounds of carpet.
Carpet?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't even know there was so much carpet out there. Wow, that's
we
fantastic.
throw away an equivalent amount of plastic bottles.
So what are we doing with this carpet?
Okay, so we are taking them and repurposing them into something else that can be used for another application, because carpets, one of the best properties of carpet is sound absorption,
Okay.
and it weighs 1/10 the weight of concrete and 10 times better sound absorption than concrete.
So there's a lot you can do with carpet.
Lot you can do with carpet, and and so if think about it, you can use it for putting as the side walls of your rooms.
Right.
And our big, hairy, audacious goal
That is fantastic.
is to use those carpet planks as sound absorption on the side of the turnpike.
I would have never in a million years thought, okay, but you know, that's why you guys do this that you do.
So
It's wonderful.
we just got awarded a $500,000 contract from the Department of Energy for reusing carpet and water bottles.
But I'm even excited. So if I'm getting excited about this, hopefully our prospective students are just like going, they're doing what and how can I get involved?
Yes.
No, I hope so. This is
So
awesome.
there are several opportunities, and what are the requirements? For example, for a master's, we need, if you are doing a thesis-based project,
Okay.
you need 30 credit hours. And we are trying to change the 35 credit hours for a non-thesis option into a 30 credit hour option also.
Okay.
And we are considering creating a terminal degree for our engineers who have an undergraduate degree who want to do a terminal degree. We want to create an Master of Engineering program. We are in the process of creating that, and that can be used by our engineers who are working in the industry.
So Masters of Engineering. I know as a recruiter, and I look at the different things that people are interested in when they send me, requests for more information.
Yes.
And engineering is just exploding as far as the field is concerned.
And the other thing that we are considering is to creating a certificate program.
Oh, really? In what?
In different areas, like for example in composites.
Okay.
Now that we have American Airlines repair facility here, one of the biggest needs are in repair and refurbishing.
Okay.
So we might be able to do that, or for example, non-destructive evaluation.
Okay.
So we are trying to create certificate programs, and if you choose to go on to do a Master of Engineering, you can use those hours towards your Master of Engineering.
So would
program.
that be like the electives that you were talking about here that
That's
provide
right.
specialization?
That's right.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. What else can you tell me that we haven't already covered? This is all very exciting and very out of this world, and yet very much right in front of us every day, and we don't even realize it. So
we are always looking for. We are a very diverse group of people, and if this has to go forward, if this has to go anywhere, we need a very diverse group of people. So we are always looking for students from different walks of life different backgrounds and things like that. And the other aspect that we are really focusing on, one of the goals of the Helmut Research Center is to take lab discoveries into the marketplace.
Okay.
Okay, so we have helped 2 student companies to take our ideas and our patents from our labs into 2 companies, and we have even helped them to get additional funding and additional investment to take it forward.
This has been absolutely fascinating. It really has. Are there any questions that have come in at this time? Okay, well, I know that there will be, because this has been an enthralling conversation. It's been very, very exciting, and
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing this information. I can't wait to take this further and to send this out to more people,
Sure.
because I know that it will inspire and encourage a lot of people who maybe hadn't even thought that they would be capable of getting into a program such as this. But it sounds to me like that they are, and that we're growing in so many different directions, and that you're one of those people to help. So
Okay, and just to add, I mean, I have a few other faculty members who are working in different areas. Like, for example, I have a faculty member working on fuel cells. I have a faculty member working on solar material, solar cell materials.
that's great.
I have a colleague who is working on the next greatest thing since sliced bread, 3D printing.
3D printing, yes,
Okay.
I know that is
So
exciting.
we have a few other members, and we have a few faculty members working in composite materials and ceramic materials and so on. So I mean, we have a very broad range of areas. So if students are interested, we can always find an opportunity for them to discover new things.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Dr. Ranji, thank you so very, very much for being here. I look forward to our next conversation.
Okay, thank
you
you,
so
Kathy.
much.
Okay, all right.
Well, talking about environmental things and all of that really exciting changes that are going on out there brings me right into our next guest, and that is Dr. Ken Eade, who has he's the Professional of Science Masters, and I understand you're also very much with the environmental science program, and we have a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. First of all, if you would please just tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll talk a little bit more
Sure.
about what kind of students you're looking for.
You bet. Well, I actually retired from American Airlines. I was the EHS, Environmental Health and Safety
Wow.
Manager for American Airlines. After retiring, I accepted a position here at Oklahoma State University, and then we developed this Professional Science Masters program. We're the only one in the state of Oklahoma that has this. And this is to help develop other EHS managers, environmental health and safety managers for corporations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, tell me a little bit more about the degree program itself.
Well, when you think about a land grant university like Oklahoma State University, it is a land grant. The underpinning of a land grant university is to have a practical education. This PSM, the Professional Science Masters, is the exact same thing. It's parallel with the land grant university. So what we do, we try to develop skills for the workplace, so these individuals can graduate and then go right into the workforce as EHS managers.
Can you tell me what an EHS manager does?
Predominantly large corporations all have them, all the oil and gas, and they control all the hazardous waste disposal, all the recycling, all the sustainability, all the DOT, Department of Transportation, shipping waste off and those kinds of things. In addition to that, they deal with worker safety.
Okay.
The health and safety is OSHA.
OSHA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, I believe that we have that coming up
right
there. Yes.
Which is interesting also, we're the only one in the state of Oklahoma, and also we have no GRE requirement, so you can come right in. 90% of our students have a baccalaureate degree in chemistry, biology, zoology, botany, and it's unfortunate today with the undergraduate degree, let's say in biology or zoology, a lot of those individuals are underemployed. The goal of this program is to get them up to speed so they can walk into a corporation like American Airlines or Spirit Aerospace or any of the corporations, oil and gas, and be an EHS manager.
Okay, so is it only going into other, you know, I say mechanical, or not necessarily mechanical, but those types of what I call hard industries? Or, see, I think of a lot of this as, you know, when we start talking about corporations going green.
Sure. And that is the part of sustainability, and that's the other arm we teach. Now, we teach industrial sustainability versus other kinds of sustainability, as far as we really do not address like wildlife biology. We do not address wildlife botany, but we do address, in most corporations, you look at the even like the new gathering place.
Yes.
All they're doing as far as sustainability, as far as recycling. One of our former grad students in a company here was the very first, developed the very first zero landfill for an MRO, a maintenance and repair operation under FAA. It's a zero landfill facility. They recycle 100% of their waste.
How does that happen?
It's a lot of work to work with all the different vendors, but he did it. And it was the very first one in the nation.
And that's one of our graduates.
One of our graduates, yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes, yes, yes.
So tell me a little bit more about our graduates and what are you looking for? You said there's no GRE, we're looking for biology majors. What?
Any science bachelor's degree at all. We've had even individuals who did not have a science degree but took the prerequisites. We only have 3 college prerequisites: chemistry, biology, and algebra. Those are the only 3 prerequisites.
Those levels would be at the bachelor's level.
At the
courses.
bachelor's degree, yes, and that's the prerequisite to get into the program. Again, no GRE. And all the other advantages, they can take the entire program right here at OSU-Tulsa. They do not have to commute back and forth.
Wow.
Yes, all of the 33 hours right here in town.
Can they do that while they're working? Is it some classes during the day, some at night?
All of our classes are designed for working adults, and again, 99% of our students are working adults, so they're from 4:30 to 7:20, those kinds of courses. And the other advantage of being here in town is that their last semester, what we do, we have an internship. So we place the students in a corporation for a semester, and they give them an environmental problem to work on. Therefore, over the semester, they're actually taking...
I'm sorry, excuse us one second. Something just happened and we shut down for a minute. Hold on. Is it completely shut down?
Facebook Live is still going.
Okay, Facebook Live is still going.
Okay.
So let's continue this conversation.
Sure.
Because I do know we have some viewers there. So I apologize for the
No
interruption.
problem. So we place the student within a corporation, and then also it gives them it's usually their last semester. So they've had the rules and regulations course. They know the hazardous waste rules and regulations, DOT, OSHA. Therefore, when they get into the corporation, they can hit the ground running. And that is the whole goal. The underpinning also is our number 1 goal is marketability. Our students are the most marketable students. Again, I believe this is the only program in Oklahoma that has this. It may be the only program in the United States.
What makes them so marketable?
Well, the real advantage in the slide right here is a good example. When you're done, you will have a certificate, 4 certificates that you can that you have to obviously take examinations for these here. But these are good in all 50 states. So therefore, you'll have your hazardous waste certificate under EPA. You'll have your DOT certificate under Department of Transportation. There, it gives you the ability to sign a manifest or bill of lading, all the paperwork. Also, you have 40-hour HAZWOPER. That's the program with the moon suits.
Right.
And we have once a year, we have this course here, and our students get in the moon suits and pretend there's spills and that kinds of things, and actually train in the moon suits. And we also have the 30-hour OSHA training, which is required. So
that is a lot of certificates, certifications, I should say.
4 in the program. And this saves, so if you go work for a company, if I was a hiring manager and you came in with the 4 certificates, I'm thinking to myself, I've saved a full year.
Yeah, because
Because
they don't have to
normally-
pay for it, they don't have to send you off.
I would have to send you off for a full year. This, we have baked in these 4 federally required
All within the master's degree.
within our master's degree.
That is really,
Yeah.
that's very, very impressive,
Yeah.
because I know so many people, I've even seen commercials where people are trying to go back to school just to get these certifications,
Exactly.
whereas they're graduating with these programs.
We have literally baked these specific courses and federal certificates into the program.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That really is,
Yeah.
that's amazing. What else does the program have to offer?
Well, you
Sounds
can
like
see
we've got
here,
a lot of.
you have all different kinds of
Electives.
electives, and a good example is the Clean Air Act course. It's a 16-week, and we go over the calculations under the Clean Air Act. Therefore, if you have any kind of paint booth or any kind of grinding operation
Uh-huh.
in a corporation, you have to get a permit. What this course does, it gives you all the equations and it teaches you the rules and regulations behind the Clean Air Act. We offer Clean Water Act, we have a sustainability course. In the sustainability course, again, we do not address wildlife botany or wildlife biology. We address industrial sustainability, recycling and those kinds of things. That corporations, again, that one student, that maintenance and repair operation, 0 landfill.
That's
The
just really
steps
impressive.
going through that, we offer a GIS, a computer software course, hydrogeology, bioremediation.
What is that?
And that's using microorganisms to clean up a spill.
Oh,
And we
okay.
actually have a wonderful laboratory, and we have brand new instrumentation that we can actually check the oil content of the soil before and after to show that the bugs are actually consuming the oil. So using the natural microorganisms in the soil to clean it up.
So no more chemicals to clean up other chemicals, to clean up other chemicals and so
Exactly,
forth.
exactly.
Right.
It's a way of, for lack of a better term, encouraging the natural microorganisms to consume the contaminants.
The way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the way it's, but we can do this within 16 weeks, where nature may take years and years.
Yeah.
We find out how to do it, how to speed things up, for lack of a better term. We also have site assessment, remediation, and office environmental chemistry. So you can see the
And these are
breadth.
all just electives, or
These
are
are
they?
all electives. That
How
is
many
correct.
electives do they get to choose from? within this program?
Well, the program is 33 hours. You have 4 required classes, and the rest the student can take any of the electives or any other science or engineering course. If they see an engineering course they would like to take, we can also apply that towards the
Apply that
program.
in there as well.
Yes, yes.
There's a lot going on in this PSM.
Oh,
There
yes.
really is.
And again, we're the only PSM in the state of Oklahoma. We're the only program, I believe, in the master's degree, and maybe in the United States, that has incorporated all 4 of these graduate level courses
Right.
for your master's. So
How
when you
did that come
graduate,
about that we're the only ones that offer this? I mean, it sounds like something that we should all be doing, but yet here we are in OSU-Tulsa.
we actually had a meeting with corporations.
Okay,
And we have a board, all corporations. We sat down and I said to them, what do you need from our graduates?
okay.
And all of them said, we need this and this and this and this. And all I did was bake what they wanted into our program. Yeah,
So our students really are very, very prepared.
they're probably the most marketable students of any environmental science program, I believe, in the United States. And the other thing is, these certificates are federally required, not just the state of Oklahoma. So if you have a student who wants to work at the end of Missouri or Kansas or Texas, whatever.
I've heard of those certificates,
Yeah,
yes.
This certificate is good in all 50 states.
My husband works in manufacturing and he's always talking about, just the different things, the different safety codes and the different
You
codes
bet.
of this and
Absolutely.
everything that they have to go in and be compliant with. So.
Absolutely. So, and
That's
again,
awesome.
and from the OSHA perspective, we have a 16-week course, and they get the actual, from OSHA, the 30-hour certificate.
That is
Yeah,
fantastic. That is really fantastic. Is there anything else that you can add before we go to some questions? And I apologize again for having lost part of our people, but don't worry, if you're on Facebook Live, we will
Yeah.
get this to you because it is recording and we will send it out, so.
Really, if they have any questions, there is my email. And again, if you are underemployed or unemployed, and you are thinking about an environmental science program, and you want to work in industry, this, to me, is the #1 program in the nation.
And with
it's
no
run-
GRE requirement.
No GRE requirement, and the real
question.
advantage also is that you can take everything right here at OSU-Tulsa.
What is the job demand in the Tulsa area for this kind of PSM?
We have, by the way, we have PSMs, our graduates, throughout the United States. We have them, I don't think, I'm sure there's a couple of states we don't have graduates, but they're all over. And again, we don't track our students, but I think we're pretty close to 100% employment.
That's bragging rights right
Yeah.
there.
And the other advantage we have during the job interview, and I tell students this all the time, when I was a hiring manager, if you would have walked in and you present your 4 certificates, I'm thinking to myself, I do not have to spend that full year and train you.
Right.
You can literally next week's hit the ground running. And
That's
that's one of the big
fantastic.
advantages of this program.
I love it, and
Yeah.
again, we'll get this out there, and I can't wait to have another conversation and maybe even do some touring of some facilities or
Sure.
some of the, video, some of the stuff that you're actually doing out there with
Especially
that, with the suits, the moon
The
suits.
bioremediation and also the moon suits are always fun to watch.
That's always
Yes,
great.
Yes.
Well, if there isn't anything else that you can add at this point, I know that there will be some things that you're
Great.
probably going to be coming up with in the near future, and we will be doing this again, and I would love to have you back with us
Great.
again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very,
Thank you.
very much. You have a good afternoon now.
Thank you.
Okay, how to get started. This is something we've gone through before with each one of our grad chats. And basically, as you've heard from each one of our faculty members, is request for program information. You can contact me, you can contact them through their emails that they've posted up here. Contact just OSU Tulsa or Kathy Williams at the GSSC. And then I'm gonna put you in contact with your graduate program advisor. And basically that's gonna be just like sending you in to talk to an academic advisor in your undergrad years. It's really, really, really important that you talk with them, as you heard from several of our faculty members, that it's not just the GRE scored or it's not just the GPA, but it's an opportunity to sit down and talk with your faculty advisor in regard to what they're looking for, what type of person are you, what do you bring to the table, and there's a number of ways that you can get started in one of these graduate programs. Prepare your application material. As I mentioned last week, don't forget we have a career services center that is fantastic in helping you with resumes, with your CVs, with your personal statements, even job interview practices. So be sure to contact our career services center. Submit your application, that's all done online, and don't forget to submit your FAFSA with our code on it to apply for any additional funding that you may need and any other given opportunities. And with that being said, there is the information that you need to contact us for more information. And next week, we will be tuning into, I believe, behavioral and community health. So stay tuned for the upcoming promo for that. But meanwhile, I want to thank again our esteemed colleagues from each of our industries that we had here today, and hope that you were excited as I was about this conversation, and we look forward to next week's grad chat. We'll see you guys then.